Big Brother last night has been a huge success for the Seven Network. It was the #1 entertainment program. It got 930,000 for the Eviction and 866,000 for the main show. This is huge, Robbo. Channel 7 have to be very pleased about that.
I think so too. What an amazing set of numbers for a show that I think it has a legacy, which I think is why you would have seen probably more numbers if it wasn't like, we've obviously seen a lot of controversies with the show before, and I think that may have kind of been a little bit too sour for people to taste the program last night. Obviously, wasn't too far ahead of MasterChef, but that's a family show, that kind of thing. So maybe if people give it a bit more of a sample, those numbers may even improve. But, sometimes it's tough for Big Brother for a lot of people.
But what was interesting about it is, I've got to be honest, based on how MasterChef and The Voice were tracking, I thought, Ben, that it would do around 650, 700 in the 5 capital cities. To actually be the #1 entertainment program is just a huge achievement for Seven. There has been a lot of buzz created by the TV Black Box website and your very self. So, I'm looking forward to the champagne from Channel 7, obviously. But this is a great result, and it was a great, great show.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think you should definitely keep those glasses for the champagne in the pantry, because I don't think they're sending it. But I will say, though, I was so happy about this result. And I just want to say, this is probably maybe a little bit narcissistic, but Rob, don't you reckon that we did actually help them in a little way?
Like, I genuinely think we do. And I know they've been upset with some of our reporting because we've let the cat out of the bag of a lot of things. But I think
it didn't hurt the show.
We didn't hurt the show. It didn't hurt it. All we did was help them hype it up because it generated so many stories. And I genuinely think our coverage helped the show. But you know what? We are lucky because Laura, who was voted out last night, is standing by to be interviewed right here on the Ben, Rob and Robbo show. But before we meet her, let's have a look at how her time in the Big Brother house ended.
Kieran, you received 2 votes. And that means, Laura, unfortunately, you received 6 votes. And you have been evicted.
Laura, you have 1 minute to say your goodbyes and leave the Big Brother house.
God. Oh my God.
It's okay. Girl. You all did it to me, so don't apologize. Bye, girlfriend. Bye. Love you.
Well, it was a very dramatic end to the very first episode. Once, Laura, you managed to come out of the show. How did it all feel going back into reality after being in that headspace for 3 days?
It's so much adrenaline and there's so much going on. You got to just let everything flow. You've just got to let all the emotions, you got to let all the second guessing and all this energy, just let it be, because it's a lot.
Just really quickly, you are Fijian originally, that's your home country. Now, did you have to drink a whole lot of kava to calm down after the adrenaline?
Yeah, I'm still drinking kava, so it's still going. I've got a little.
I went to Fiji earlier this year and I found out what kava was. I'd never heard of it before, but it definitely had a really calming feeling. So when I knew that was where you were from, I was like, this girl's going to drink herself some kava.
Yeah, why? You don't need drugs when you have kava. So.
Laura, it's Rob here. I've got to say, I've been amazed at Big Brother. The show has come together really, really well. I've got to say, there always has to be someone first, but it's got to be disappointing being the first one out.
All I thought was, as long as I'm not first, I can handle anything that happens.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. In my head, I was like, I'm going to win. What the hell? I win in everything. But then I thought, okay, let's be real. I'm like, no one wants to be first. You never want to be the first to be evicted.
Definitely not. Definitely not. You don't want to be first. But you know what's really funny? In the history of Big Brother in Australia, the first person out is usually a little bit left of centre and a little bit unusual. and you weren't that at all. How conscious were you? Like, no, you weren't. Like, as in, I thought that you were a front runner. I really did. You know, when you look at the history of Big Brother, there definitely have been some oddballs that came out first. Where in actual fact, I think you held it together really well. You were fantastic and gave it a great effort in the challenge. But how aware were you of how the others were perceiving you in the house?
It's very easy. I mean, when you're stuck in a house with people and you've all gone through the same experience, you all know what kind of wavelength you're on. Like, we all know what it took to get in the house, and there's $250,000 up. So you're going to do whatever you want to do, and it's about just trying to draw the line with still having a genuine connection with somebody, but also knowing that at one point you're going to be enemies. Whereas there's also some people who are just like, nah, you know, everybody. I'm just gonna, you know, pull the trigger now. So yeah.
Where did you feel that you lost the other housemates? Because there was a point in there where it felt like you put a few people off.
Look, if I reflect on all my workplaces, and I went to 4 high schools, you know, I've traveled around, and it's always people when their just first instincts of meeting anybody would be either, if you don't have this like friendly, loving kind of, you know, attraction, then it's, for some reason, people just go straight to, well, I don't like you because I don't understand you. And I think that can be pretty shit.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the question is that there was this moment where they were reading out the instructions for the bread, and you sort of took over and you saw a few death stares your way, like, what is she doing?
That was very out of context.
Was it?
What happened. Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
I'm not even mad.
Well, that's the thing.
Interestingly enough, though, what we noticed from the show in this new format was that Kieran definitely started campaigning really hard. How important is it for the housemates to campaign once the nominations come out? Like, do you feel like if you were to go back in, you might have put a few elbows out and pushed Kieran out of the way to run a different campaign?
If to be someone who campaigns for themselves, you need to be a certain type of person. You got to be somebody who, you know what I mean? Like, you don't care, and it's that kind of rat race mentality. And I could never be trying to beg for my life. Like, I go down with pride. And again, you're going to do what you want to do at the end. So no matter what I would have said, and it's just going to come off very fake. Especially,
but it's interesting, isn't it?
You know?
That you thought he was out, and he thought he was out. It was just fascinating how that played, because you actually said to Zoe, I think we're safe, you know. And
it was tough eviction. You know, there's so much is missing. There's so much conversations and things that had happened. And I honestly was like, I can't read the room. It just felt like it was a tough call for most people, because it's like, you know, based on strategy, vote me out because I will win. You don't want me as I've got so many brothers and I'm the youngest. I grew up competing, you know, for a seat at the table.
I got a sense of that. You know, I got a sense of that you had some real strength, you know, which was fascinating to watch. This might seem like a really redundant question to ask you because we may already know the answer, but there will be an eviction this evening. Have you got a pick? And is that pick someone emotional? Like, is the person you want to leave next
who do I
a bit of a vengeance? Like, you know,
I'm not a vengeful
who do you think's
person.
coming out?
I couldn't care less because I'm out. So it's hard because now I'm a viewer and I'm watching. You want to keep the people in who are going to keep shit happening. You want we want to be watching something, whether it's good or bad. And if everyone's playing it safe and quiet, that's boring. You know, I don't want to be there for that. So
I think Ben was saying to me that he saw something today that you're not a big fan of Kieran.
Kieran's his own person. I wouldn't say.
You're being so diplomatic.
I would be a really good politician, just putting that out there. Look, Kieran is, and you know, it definitely doesn't reflect anyone in my inner circle. But you've got to respect him because he knows that, and he just stays true to himself. But yeah, not a fan.
Watching the show last night, is there anyone that you think is completely different to what you saw?
Do you mean inside the house?
Oh, watching
like,
the first launch episode last night, watching that very first launch episode, was it really jarring to see that some people might have been a bit different?
Yeah, look, it was so quick. We had an introduction, we had hanging out time, a game, and an eviction. That's like 4 major events in one episode. So lots, I think, were missed, and they're very just sort of key elements that really help define people's personalities and what they stand for. But, it's Big Brother's got his own plan, and it's pretty much cutthroat, in and out, no time to get to know anyone.
Well, without sounding too much like RuPaul from RuPaul's Drag Race, and as being a former winner of Big Brother, I will say to you, welcome to the Big Brother family. I think you did a fantastic job. You should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah,
and look, if they do an All-Stars, I'll be rooting for you to come back.
Hey, look, man, just you know who to tell. So, Big Brother. Don't have housemates vote, and I'll be out again.
Thank you, Laura, for being
did a fantastic
on the
job.
Ben, Rob and Robbo show. Appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for having me, boys.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo show.